Hello, what is up? So, I was asked by someone in the community named Thomas, and a really nice guy, actually gave me a code for this game to check out to see if I could get frame generation in the game and FSR 4.0.2. So, thank you for that. So, what I'm showing you here is I wish I could have done it, but I literally tried everything. But the problem is this anti-cheat in the game is very sophisticated, and as soon as I changed like one file even, because I did try it with the new method of putting FSR 4.0.2 in the game, but it just literally crashed the game, and then it kept giving me a message saying anti-cheat detected, and it was showing me the frame generation file as well. And so what I've done is I tried to literally take that out and just manipulate it. So I tried so many ways. I mean, I tried it without the Intel files. I tried it with the Intel files. I left the Nukem mod, the frame gen mod, like any type of frame generation file. It would literally just say anti cheat and it's detected files, and it wouldn't let me start the game. So in the end, I just decided it's just literally not going to work, and unfortunately, so I really did my best, but I have found out another way you can do it, and the best way I believe is to use AFMF or lossless scaling. AFMF felt pretty good, but so the only way of getting any form of FSR4 into the game is actually by using AMD GPU Profile Manager. So as I spoke about in my previous videos, with anti-cheat games, it's never a good idea actually to use OptiScaler, because I haven't so far I've not been able to get OptiScaler to work with any anti-cheat game, and usually I don't attempt it because you're sort of asking for trouble. You can actually potentially get banned by doing this, by the way. So I thought I'd try it anyway since I was asked to do it, but there is literally no way of doing it, unfortunately. So I really wish I could have done it, but it just, no matter what I tried, it just, this anti-cheat system, as I said, it just, as soon as you change one file, it will just crash the game. It will lock you out of it. So it was just pointless in the end. I mean, I tried the SDKs as well, and I actually left the frame generation file out in one of them. So there was a lot of footage that I've cut out because I've spent about 40 minutes trying to do it. Um, so in the end, I mean, I did try OptiScaler on the first Descendant a while back, and it was giving me the same thing. So it was pointless. Any anti-cheat game, it is pointless most of the time. But this is where I really think this AMD GPU Profile Manager has got potential in anti-cheat games, because the good thing is once AMD drop the new drivers, I would imagine you'd be able to get FSR 4.0.2 on this squad game, because you're using it through the Adrenaline app. So at the moment, I did manage to get FSR 4.0.1 enabled, but I couldn't get frame generation in the game because it looks like they've locked AMD out of it. Every time I tried it with OptiScale, it would just say AMD frame gen Fidelity FX detected. I imagine it wouldn't surprise me if Nvidia have got it, but I haven't checked that. But I mean, so it is. I think it's a shooter as I understand it, and but it felt. I mean, I was using the mouse. I'm not sure if you can use the controller on this game. I haven't had time to play it, but I imagine it felt alright with the mouse once I put AFMF on. So I've got some footage of me loading it up, and it felt pretty responsive, uh, even when I put AFMF on. So it felt alright to me anyway. And then I tried lossless, so I will show you that. But again, he was definitely, he just weren't having it, no matter what I did. I tried about 4, 5 different ways of installing OptiScaler. I did try the second option, winmm.dol, but I thought that might bypass it, but it didn't. So it's literally impossible with these anti-cheat games. It really is. So the frame generation thing is it's just not going to be possible, unfortunately, because you will need Optiscaler to do that. Because when these developers don't put frame generation in the game, you will need to get access to NVIDIA to their upscaling, and then you will need to basically enable their frame generation option in the game, and then Optiscaler is used to convert their DLSS frame gen into FSR frame gen. So that's how it works, but because it's got anti-cheat, it literally won't let me load up the game because it's got anti-cheat, and it is just, there's no way of doing it. So in these sort of situations, I would just use AFMF because AMD are lucky to have it driver level, and AFMF actually works in any game. As you can see, it just keeps giving me that message, or it gives you another message saying Unreal Engine crash, because it's anti-cheat. It's a pain in the arse, that anti-cheat. But that is where I think AMD GPU Profile Manager will be very handy. It's helped me out in the first Ascendant with AMD, because I can use FSR 4.0.1, and once the new drivers drop, they will update that in the Adrenaline app to 4.0.2, which will be good. So you will be able to get this eventually, Thomas. You will be able to get FSR 4.02, the latest version, probably this month, hopefully. I mean, I imagine the drivers will be dropping this month, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. The frame generation is the main problem, but I think AFMF actually looks pretty good with FSR 4.1 or 2. That's what, from my experience, it has. And as long as you're not getting any delay, it looks pretty good. So I've found that to improve a fair bit, AFMF. Yeah, so what was happening here is this was pretty much one of my last attempts. So you basically try and launch your game, and then it starts slowing your computer down, and you know it's going to crash, or the anti-cheat. The anti-cheat is just slowing things down mostly, and you just have to restart the game. So as I said, it was never going to work in the end. But hopefully the drivers, I mean AMD should be dropping drivers, and I will be very shocked if they don't give us the latest FSR 4.0.2 file. So then I can try out in the first Ascendant as well, and this game should support it. So what you have to do, just type create a new profile in this squadgame.exe, and that's what you want to do. And I had to restart the computer because it just doesn't show that FSR 4 toggle straight away a lot of the time with this and the GPU Profile Manager. So I just cut the recording, restarted, and then loaded it back up, and then thankfully it showed me the toggle, so we enabled that. I didn't put that on straight away, but I had a look at it because I wanted to compare the image quality before I actually turned it on. So it was definitely, I pressed Alt and R and it was definitely active. So Thomas did tell me he got FSR 4.0.1 into the game, so I imagine he did it with this, and so the FPS was pretty good. I think I pretty much maxed it out, but so as long as you're getting a good FPS before you turn AFMF on. So I've got the overlay top right, but as I said before, see, as you can see, it's active. As soon as I turn AFMF on, that overlay will disappear, which is an annoying thing. But I was getting about 180 FPS to bit higher. It depends where you go, because the FPS does drop. And I did try out lossless scaling, and there was a bit more of a performance hit with lossless. So I would recommend AFMF in this. And the image quality is probably about the same from what I saw. Lossless can be better, but on the shooter, I reckon you should be using AFMF to get as much FPS as you can get, to be honest. And I mean, it is so easy to use AFMF with AMD, and as I said, the image quality has got better with AFMF. And I think FSR 4, it just looks better with FSR 4 AFMF from what I've seen recently. So I think that is the best way to play this game. Yeah, I've got it mostly on Epic. So I couldn't say any bad ghosting, but you will have to play through it a bit more just to see. So if you find any ghosting, I would probably not recommend AFMF, but it depends. But I couldn't feel any lag. I mean, another thing, turn that anti-lag on as well when you use this AFMF, but it usually turns it on by itself as soon as you enable AFMF in the Adrenaline app. So yeah, that's literally how I play it. Although I don't use frame generation in shooters, but it's up to it. I mean, it's subjective. But I'd say FSAR 4.0.1, it does a really good job. It's just that FSAR 4.0.2 just improves on it. That's the main thing I'd say. But in this game, it looks pretty good. I didn't really say anything that literally turned me off. So that is pretty much it. I did my best, but I couldn't literally get frame generation in the game, unfortunately. Or FSR 4.0.2, but it's literally because of that anti-cheat. That's why. So there's no way of doing it. But again, I really appreciate the code, Thomas. Thanks for that. And it does look a pretty good game. I'll probably have to have a look at it when I get some more time. So yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.